forward. Uh-oh, I might actually land on the top. Deet, 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 deet. Hey! Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust. We're talking about a good base build for a solo player, a group base. I'm going to call this one the Terrapin, as it can be built on the water or land, just like a turtle. Go get it! So this is for the Rust Console Edition, for the pre-order beta, wow, I can't talk, for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox, but also for the full release that's happening on later on this year, which would be, what, May 21st or May 18th, depending on when you bought this. So, yeah, there you go. All right, so I've got admin access, full disclosure here. I've got super stacks all up and down here. This is in order to move things quickly. If I do fly around like this or jump in and spawn things in, it's because I'm an admin. You won't have those abilities, so just to keep that going. Okay, so features of this. We've got a turret outside, or a turret that you can place, 2 boat ports that you can upgrade, as this is the Terrapin. Now, the variation off of this is going to be this guy here, with no boat ports on the back. I'm going to go ahead and put my guy down here and show you what that looks like, where my character is standing is the tool cupboard. This is the Terrapin on the land with no boat ports, just so you can take a look. And by the way, if you find this useful and helpful at any time, be sure to drop a like. Consider dropping that subscribe and turning on those notifications. Got all kinds of Rust guides. Speaking of guides, I've got the Rust Guides playlist. I will go ahead and link that now in the upper right-hand corner. Go check that out. And this is another final form for the Terrapin in the water variation with the boat ports on the back. Now, I did leave the honeycomb portions, the wooden triangles at the bottom there. I'm going to try not to move around too much, but my character is standing on top of the tool cupboard, just so you can look at the footprint. I'm going to take a swig of the old tactical cylinder. Lots of space here. We have tested this on official, both solo, duo, and trio, maybe even a quad. As long as you do things in small bite sizes, you can get this done. Okay, so if you are new to this, as far as base building, which is totally fine, I'm going to go rather quickly. So if you are looking for some of the basics, I would highly recommend checking out the building guide. I will go ahead and link that now in the upper right-hand corner. It is essential if I'm going too fast, like things like locks and stuff like that. Like in order for me to get this done in a timely fashion, not only am I going to make chapters and stuff down below on the timeline there for mobile or for desktop, but I'm going to have to move rather quickly. So we're going to do the variant that has the boat ports here on the back, and this offers a whole slew of protection. And yeah, this is something we'll be using during the pre-order beta. So let me just kind of walk you through here. See what this looks like. You've got your single pass-through doors that helps from people running deep on you. It also adds an extra layer of protection. Think satchels, 4 per door, so you're looking at 8 just before you get into this section here. This jumps up at the top with a shotgun trap there to catch anybody that might go deep on you. Over here is our step outside kits. You can swap your kits in and out there. That's why lockers are OP. Got some storage here in the front and also in the grill itself. You don't necessarily have to use that for food. Roller boy right there. And again, I'll try to do more cutaways and stuff if this is confusing. This is more or less just a walkthrough. You've got the back here with food storage. If you've got the window BP, you can pop this off and you can access your furnaces here. Also, this wall is supposed to be facing outward as it is part of the honeycomb. I'm going to detach my camera for a sec so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see that it's part of the honeycomb on the exterior here. So it's always good to add layers. I'm going to reattach. Let me go ahead and put this window back on. Again, you got to make sure you put these on and then repair it. You don't have to have the BP to do this, to put it back. You do have to have the BP to make it, just so you know. And somebody has to have tool cupboard access, building privilege in the lower right-hand corner. Again, that guide in the beginning will help you a lot. Drop storage here. We're going to move up quick here. You've got spawn points down here. Deeper storage, armored doors. If you have them, again, use what you do have. If you don't have these armored doors singles, we keep these stone door frames. And then if you need a roller boy here or a garage door, that's what we call garage doors, you're going to pick this out on the soft side. Just keep that in mind. We're going to show you some of the other storage here. This is part of the honeycomb. Again, these are 9 per door satchels. Deeper storage here. And this is part of the honeycomb in the exterior. Well, there's this honeycomb here, this triangle, but this loot room is also part of the honeycomb for the main loot room itself. Okay, deep storage there. I'm going to close that. This is the main TC room. Again, this can be upgraded and done many different ways. Same thing with this doorway. If you need a roller boy there and you don't have these armored doors, because they are high-end end game, by all means, knock that out and then put a roller boy in place. And we've got the tool cupboard back here with the actual, I got to bring up I took a picture of it earlier. With all of the honeycomb attached to this, this is the full cost of this base with the honeycomb. Now, without the honeycomb, I made this earlier. Without the honeycomb, you're looking at 2,489 stone, 2,777 metal fragments, 52 high quality, and 853 if you leave the boat ports wood in the back. And yeah, so that's what you're looking at before you do full upgrade. And then I guess this would turn into more stone here. You would have less wood. But I kind of like to leave the boat ports wood, just to kind of fish people in. Okay, so this is what you're looking at. Let's go upstairs real quick, and then we'll do the actual build portion. Plenty of space here. Spots down. Actually, there should be a locker right here. What am I doing with myself? All right, so here's the upstairs. And this is how you get to the boat portion. So I'm going to put that away. Roller boys to go up. Again, window access here for your turrets. To place outside the version of the beta that we have. You don't need electricity. You've got your bed spawns there, which are real nice. Use swing doors to come open. Again, pop off this window if you're looking to get this turret up or whatever. We also have roller doors on the exterior here if you want to shut that. But this gives you protection on the outside door. We're going to go ahead and phase back in. Here is the main storage on the second floor. Lots of lockers for the boys. But this is becoming part of... Oh, you know, I didn't put boxes there. What a bad dude. Anyways, these will be quad storage units. Again, I'm not going to do too much of this, but you get the idea. Roller boys here. And then we do have... I'm going to phase out. There's honeycomb here. You can see that it's stone triangles on the top. You can kind of see the footprint. We're going to phase back in. Oh, I'm in the locker. There we go. Hopefully that's not too confusing for you. Sorry, I know I'm moving fast, but I got to. It's going to take a hot minute to do this. And here's what's interesting. This section here, this is how you get to the boat section. Well, first you've got these two storage rooms. Again, kits, deeper storage. But this is how you get to the boathouse. You drop down, open up here, a boat, and another boat. Now, if you want to make this stone, you totally can. I tell people, keep it wood until you know, because a lot of times you'll need to make adjustments. And everything on this base, as far as on the grid, you should be able to fill in the gaps that are around, so there shouldn't be any dead zones. That's what you get when you mix full 90-degree squares, and I mean, I guess that's implied with the square, but also triangles too. So everything should be filled in, so you can make those adjustments. Quick note, again, I know I'm going fast. Be sure, I'm going to disconnect again. If you're making a base like this, only take off what you can chew and make adjustments as you see fit. If you need to make an extra airlock here with windows, by all means do that. If you can only make it to the first floor, only do that. Because if you take off more than you can chew, you're going to get clapped and someone's going to push you in and they're going to take all your stuff. So remember, this is meant to be adjusted. This should give you a nice foothold if you are a bit more advanced of a solo player, but even if you're even intermediate with a group, this is definitely going to be a base that you're going to want to look at because you're going to dominate on the water. Watch, we'll do it live on stream, I promise. Okay, so these are the different boathouses here. You're able to access these. I did put roller boys on the exterior. I'm going to fly again. Again, if you need to move these, you can hack up that wooden floor right there in the front, and it will collapse this stone frame, and you can take off the roller boys when you need to. And this gives you access to come in here quickly and drop off these crates here on the top. I wouldn't store anything there long term, but if you're doing a lot of boat runs, it's really valuable. The reason why we have all these shotgun traps is if somehow somebody's waiting outside, they kill you and push you in. If they get in here, they will absolutely get dropped because there's no way you can survive 4 shotgun traps. There's just no way, and there's no line of sight for them. Also, in case somebody pushes you in, there are locks here. I don't do that very often, but it prevents people from coming in. Should give you enough time to respawn and then deal with the issue down here. Because a lot of times people see the lock, come in here and try to hack it up, and they get shot by the shotgun traps. Also, again, this box is for a little bit more protection for drop-off. This will be for your scuba equipment. Go ahead and check out that scrap guide I got. I'll link it in the upper right-hand corner now. It's going to help you boost and get progression. So there you go. That is the Terrapin walkthrough. Now we're going to build it quickly. Oh, wait. You know what? One more thing. Real quick. It's food storage, seeds, water, all that good stuff. And then let me just show you upstairs access. It's just a jump up. No big deal. Right here. And then right. Jump crouch. And then a shotgun trap here in case somebody's waiting for you. Swing doors for quick access. And all metal tiles here to prevent that all-important splash damage that's going to be happening late game. And then you can add a tower here as well if you want to start doing helicopter runs, or even if you just need a nice snipe tower. I'm going to go ahead and fly back, check that out. All right, so we're going to build the Terrapin, the water variant, if I made it deep enough. All right, here we go. Man, I just hope we have enough to do this. Okay, so what I like to do is I start off with a square. I kind of get to the depth, and this is going to be the first section. This is where the tool cupboard is going to be, right here. And I'm going to do this in sections as if you were playing live, because this is going to help you kind of prioritize what you need to. I like to put up stone immediately and then stick a door on. I told you I go quick. We need a metal door. Bring this back down. Sorry, I got to move like that with super stacks. And then I think what I'll do is, sorry, I'm going to open up this admin tool here, and I'm just going to add wooden door locks because it'll be a bit quicker. I don't have to type in codes. Just know, always lock your doors, never make a key, and if you've got a team, make code locks. They do cost 100 metal fragments. We're going to put this here as a frame. Oops. And again, you've seen I've actually gotten pushed in doing this, so it's really important to stay on your feet. I'm going to stick this back in the corner like so. Authorize. I'm going to put in a healthy stack of stone, wood, metal fragments, and a little bit of that high quality. That's more stone. Good. Okay, we're going to lock that bad boy. Again, don't forget to lock. Now, I'm going to go outside here real quick and show you what this looks like. Oh my goodness, didn't mean to do that. Go like this. That a boy. So when you add that socket, you've seen this a million times, or maybe you haven't. You can put a triangle here, and it creates a nice little shelf for you. And lock that off, and then as soon as you've got, okay, that's locked. As soon as you have things like this, I just put a top on immediately, and then you're good. Now I'm gonna go right to roller boys. You can do standard swing double doors, metal doors, just so you know. I'm gonna throw these in quick, and again, there's a lot of different ways you can do a loot room. Again, make the adjustments as you see fit, because this does take a hot second. I'll try to do most of these, but once you have the general idea, I'm going to not do them all because it does take a bit of time. So, yeah, loot rooms change, basically, is what I'm saying, depending on your needs. And then a lot of times they evolve as you start to upgrade the base, which means you have to take things out, that sort of thing. So right now, you're probably going to be at a level 1 workbench. I'm just going to go ahead and put one right down, right? Yeah. You know what? Let's just say level 2, right? I'm assuming that if you're building this base, you're kind of on board with that. We're going to place a box here on the ground in front of this if we need to. Kind of creating just a little bit of space there. Okay, so now going off to the next section here. The reason why we do that is having double doors here. Okay, you know what? I'm deleting that. Sometimes if you have double doors here, it swings open and stops people from rushing in. But again, we're skipping a few steps to make this bad boy go quick. Now, for the next section, and this happened to us live, we got rushed a bit. So if you're going to do this next section, you could do it a number of different ways. This honeycomb section becomes your deeper storage on the side here. I'm going to go ahead and just make that stone so you can see what that looks like from the sky as I take a drink of water. Oh, you know what? Let's take out our scaffolding real quick. Sorry, if this is going too fast, be sure to check out that other guide. Or if this is a bit too large for you, which is totally fine, because you definitely don't want to do something too big, I do have a boathouse build. I will link that now in the upper right-hand corner. So that stone section is going to be your next area, and again, only if you can afford it. If you can't, take small bites. Small bites. I just burped into the water bottle. That reeks. Okay. And again, this isn't going to stop everything, but this is going to get you started. So what I like to do is I like to make this back loot section first. Create some shelves. Again, making this a very basic loot room to start with. And if you have to start with double doors, if it's wood, by all means, it stops people immediately. I wouldn't store anything in here somebody can yoke and flame you out, but it'll get the job done. Again, I'm just going to put some basic ones here to show you what this is all about. Let's see how quick I am. I bet this is still almost an hour. Yeah. All right. So what I usually do here is I'll make a door here. If someone's harassing me outside, I'll slap up a metal door. We'll show what that looks like because it's more realistic. That's going to happen. Let's be real. Okay. So what I like to do here, slap that up, and then slide my stacks around, make sure that's locked, and then I put a door here. Again, with this door opening inward, if you need to, it blocks that door. And same thing with this. A little bit later, it's going to swing outward. Stops that kind of stuff. Usually, if you can't afford this extra section here, what you're going to do is just keep this door locked and then go in and out of this one if you start to get harassed quite a bit, which is going to happen. It's rust. I mean, that's how it goes. Let's stick a lid on these here. I'm going to try to stay on the ground as much as I can when I build, just to show you how that's going to work. And I guess until we're pressed for time, which we might be pretty soon. I can already feel it. I'm just going to create a half wall here to jump to the top. I should have made this. There we go. All right, so once you have this, you're good. I like to make this other section as quickly as possible. What I do like to do is keep this wall facing this way when it's stone. When you upgrade it, you're going to flip it back towards you like so. This is eventually going to turn into metal, and then you're going to flip it this way. And you can only flip it like that if you're past the cementing phase, if you've upgraded it. So just so you know, that's kind of a gotcha wall. We're going to keep that stone for now. We'll show what that upgrade looks like. And we'll also do this back storage in a kind of different way so we don't have to, so we can save time. All right, once you can afford that, see, this way you can slip in and out. If someone's like popping in, people will come at you with ladders and stuff. That's very real. You're going to make some shelves here. Put in a ceiling whenever you can afford that. Probably do that first. That makes more sense. And then these will become 2 quad loot rooms. So a total of 8 boxes back here. And then this creates honeycomb around your central. Oh my goodness, make that jump. Around your main TC area, and hopefully it's throwing off enough people. Now we're going to put in a wall frame here. Another wall frame on this side. We're going to make a half wall and then some more of these for more of the shelving units. And again, we'll leave these empty for now. You would fill these in with actual full-size boxes. But you can start to see how this is shaping up here. You've got these frames here. Eventually you'll have these swing doors, and then you'll afford roller doors later. Again, to save time, we're going to do this. I like to stick the balls, that sounds bad, outward. Lock it. Don't forget to set the lock. I do like to keep this a swing door. And now, you should have enough loot room space here to ward off people. What I'm going to say is, let's say you're under attack, and at some point you will need to do this, and you have enough materials, and again, you can do this later. I like to start to upgrade the inner core and the ceiling to metal pretty quickly, especially if you've got a lot of aggro on you. I like to do the main tool cupboard first because that's the most important. And again, if you're having trouble accessing these, you can come outside here like so and do that. Usually I start with the central room and then work my way out. Just know when you make metal, be ready for honeycomb relatively soon, because nothing says I have money quite like metal foundations. Again, that might be a bit premature, but that's just to kind of show you what that's going to be like as we evolve. Again, do it only when you can afford it. All right, so we'd put more boxes here. Again, what I did earlier here is I placed boxes and it was hard to walk through. What I like to do is then I place these smaller boxes here. Sorry, I have to shuffle around these super stacks. It's kind of annoying. So then it's easier to walk in this room, but expect to crouch jump your way in. So there you go. You can stick a furnace in here. Also, what somebody noticed in my comments, which I was like, you know what, good on you. They were like, where's that sleeping bag? I'm like, dude, you right? You right? I totally forgot. So if you've got a squad, this is a good place to put all your bags to start off. This room's kind of open, and this is more towards the inner core, so that makes a lot of sense. You know what, let's finish these upgrades in here, shall we? Okay, we got them. And then we'll upgrade this wall here. We'll leave this stone until we make the decision whether or not to make... Because you may not get a single armored door, alright? It just may not happen for you. And then you see how we kind of picked and choose where we want to upgrade, because let's be honest, in the very beginning, you're not usually going to run into too many people that are going to mess you up unless you really took somebody off. All right, so this is the next phase here, where we can add some stuff for the boat. Let's say you do find a boat eventually. This little section here you can kind of use to pull up a boat if you need to. Just know that it's not super protected, somebody can come up and steal it. But I know if you've got a crew, one person can be building and smelting, and the other crews can be out there doing flotillas and whatnot. So it's really good. All right, so next phase, which will be processing and your external door and your drop area. Let me show you what this looks like. I'm going to upgrade this as a pathway first so you can kind of see what this looks like. This is going to be the exterior. Just trying to show you this. And this section here will be the jump up itself. And again, do this as it makes sense. Let me just cut away so I can take another drink, but I'll just show you what this looks like. You know what? Hold on. This will be the jump up, like so. Let's just see what this is going to be. And then I know it helps me, and let me know down in the comments to kind of see a floor plan. And then you can decide the order you want to do this in, because this will change depending on what's going on in the wipe. Sometimes you may not be able to get to this right away. You'll have to do certain things to kind of cut it off and make it work for you. This will be some of the shelving here. And again, this is pricey. You got to make sure you can afford this. I cannot express that enough. Super, super, super important. I'm going to show you what this looks like. That way I can take a swig of water. Because who knew that talking so much would make you parched? I did, Jade. I did. Delicious. Okay. Put this door frame here. Alright, I'm going to break away and take a swig of the old tactical cylinder. You can see right... Actually, I'm going to take my character and show you. I'm going to stand where the tool cupboard is. Give you a sense of scale, but also show you where that's at. I'm going to try to line everything up like this. But you can see already, this is the spot that we added. Let me... Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make that so crazy. Let me give you a top down so this makes more sense. This camera's a little goofy. Okay, there you go. That's the expansion on the outside. The triangles below my character on the bottom of your screen there, that is honeycomb, but that also becomes storage. And the open top you're seeing there becomes storage, a smelting zone, a place for drop-off, but also your exterior. So the triangle on the far right that has the doorways to it, that's going to be your exterior. And those two doors create a spot where you can enter and exit and hopefully stop double barrel naked man from waiting outside your door and clapping you, but it's not perfect by any means. So having roof access is going to be your next best bet, but this is like that next section, and it costs a good chunk of change. When you make a foundation and a wall, you're looking at 300. I think it's 300 stone per. I can't remember what the ceiling is. It's less than, if I'm not mistaken, but anyways, you got to have the cheese for it, so do it in small pieces. Delicious. All right, let's fill in the top here. And this section here becomes where the boat's at, by the way. And again, if I had trouble expanding these other spots here, I would leave this door frame and I would make a wall frame here and then use like a wooden door until I can afford the rest, if that makes sense. Let me go ahead and show you what that looks like from the ceiling here. Sorry, my camera was super fast earlier. Do you see what I mean? That way you're kind of adding those little bite-sized chunks when you can afford it. And again, if you start with a lower material like this, as you upgrade it as you go, you can then upgrade and then flip things. And then in the worst case scenario, yes, you can metal pick those out, but it will take you a hot minute and about 7 picks and some time. So there's things you want to avoid, but it is possible. All right, let's say we're rich. We got the rest here. What are we looking for at time? Quite a bit. All right, let's keep going. That was the hardest part when we actually did this on official, because we hatched this up during a live stream. And I was like, yeah, this will actually be quite useful. Once I did it in a live environment, like on official, there were some things I'm like, okay, let's maybe make this tweak. Then let's say we have this. We're rich enough to do so. So this is what's cool about this back section. Having furnace spots are a big deal. I'm assuming you have one back here in the main room. Back here somewhere. Wherever you want to put it, wedge it in the corner. however you want to do it. I think, can I get one back here? Pretty sure I can. Maybe not. Well, anyways, if you really jimmy it around, you could get one back here. But you get what I'm saying. We'll just put one here for argument's sake. That's a terrible placement, but you want to have more at this point. You always want your furnace running, so having extra that are protected is a big deal. So if you do have the window, what is it called? Reinforced glass? Strengthened windows, but I think for the version we have on the beta, it's going to be called reinforced glass. Take these and push them back as far as you can. You'll know if you can do it, because then you'll select a window and then rotate it. I'm sorry, you probably don't need to rotate that. If you upgrade that, you see how the hard side's facing me? We're going to rotate it outward, because this is honeycomb back here. And if someone's breaking through this, you want this to be the hard side, and you want that window to do work for you. If that makes sense. Yeah, as you guys are doing this, let me know how it went for you on not only the pre-order beta, but like an official server as well. If you do have a fridge, which you'll get, they're pretty easy to get. I like to stick something like that here. I like to stick a large box here. If I put it against the wall far enough, I can also place one of these dudes right here, because it's all about, you know, box space. And then you can put a bunch of these quads back here. I might not put them all in because it takes a second. We're already like 30 minutes in, I think. It's gonna take a minute. Get the idea. Alright, the leader. Yes, having garage doors is extremely important. If you have a chance to grab one during a wipe, even at a player-based store, do it. It's 100% worth your time. It's the most used protected like base thing. You know what I mean? Protected. That's a terrible sense, but you know what I'm saying. All right, and the locker, which you can get at the bandit camp, I'm a big fan of too. And look, if you push this up against the wall like so, look at that, you're good to go. Let's finish this top section and then show you what some of this other stuff looks like. We're going to do that second floor and then do some upgrades. All right, so right here, this is important to get this going as quickly as possible. For this floor, it is important to have it open up on this side, right? Like towards here. I'll show you what that looks like. The direction I'm facing. It makes it a bit easier for the next jump up, but it will leave you a little bit exposed out here, so you might have to be advised, because look, if you're doing this like so, you gotta make sure that you're aware of that shoreline. People can get up on rocks and mess you up real good. Whoops, sorry. Mess you up, so, you know, just be aware of your surroundings. Alright, and then I put walls here. Sometimes you get that. I like to put this twig here. Then put the wall soft side facing you. Then harden it up and then pop this. As long as it's not cemented, you should be good to go. I'm assuming we're going to do that next section relatively quick. Bam, right there. Now I like to put a lid on top. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's going to be our jump up, so maybe not. We'll do something like this. If you're doing it like so, just be careful and make this wood until you can do the expansion, because people can come down here and use your own soft side and knock out this wall. What do I mean? Watch, somebody comes in here, there's no lid on top. They can jump up here, soft side pick this, and then they can get into your base down here. So, yeah, it's good to throw wood on top. No one's gonna notice it, and it'll be easier for you to remove later. Because you may not be ready to do a whole second story, you know? So it's kind of crazy. Put a swing door here. Swings outward. I'm a fan of that. And Razor likes it the other way, but that's fine. And then what I like to do, if you do have this blueprint at any point, stick this bad boy right here. It drops clowns from dropping down. It stops clowns from dropping down. Jeez, I can't talk today. It drops clowns that are trying to pop in. Man, that's you know what I'm saying. Then we'll stick a roller boy here. Lock that bad boy up. So look at that. If you have another roller boy and you can afford it, remember, gears, gears, gears. To really protect stuff. See what I mean? It's coming together. Let's stick a wall frame here. Hopefully this makes sense and I'm not going super crazy. I'm like spastically going fast because I know how long this takes to make. Okay, so if you do have lockers, I like to face them outwards like this, stick them against the back wall. Give it a bit of a gap. Don't have to lock these. It makes it a bit awkward. Because think about it. Same team, same fight. You won't need to. I like to space them out like that. Then, if you've got the metal, make some grills, rotate it, like so. Can I get it back there? Yeah, do it like this. I like to have the lid towards the back. Like this. And a small box, rotate, slip slap that sucker right under there. Bam! Then you can fit a roller boy. This becomes your go box downstairs on the first floor. So if you need to come out, get kitted, you're good to go. And look, you've got full sets here. You can access this and this guy right there. Beautiful. First floor acquired. All right, let's do those first floor upgrades rather quickly. Again, since this has now become, you upgrade all of this stuff here. The metal, and when you can afford it, don't have to do the shelves in between. Here's what it's going to look like. Especially the top, it stops rocket raids whenever you can. Well, it slows it down. I'm not going to say it stops it, but knockdown raids are going to be a thing. Whether people realize it or not, it will be, because we'll be in there doing it. All right, so this was a little tricky. So the idea behind this is if somebody comes through this honeycomb at some point, we want them to be able to be stopped. So I like to have this rotated like that. So if somebody were to raid through your doors and come through this side, they would break into another set of honeycomb that would be absolutely detrimental to their raid. Let me make sure we upgrade these as well. And again, outside here, I'm going to throw down wooden triangles to show you where the honeycomb is going to go. Oh, I'm walking through the doors, so she just phased through the walls. I'm going to make these wood on purpose so you can see what that's going to look like in the future. I'm going to take another swig of water. Because for me, whenever I make something metal on the exterior, I try to cover it up as quickly as possible. But again, you saw how much more expensive it was to do the honeycomb on the exterior. And it's only these triangles. That's it. Everything else is kind of... Oops, well, I meant to make that wood. And then even if it drops down like that, sometimes I'll just do a half wall too. It just depends. Because remember, they take out the foundation. I did it again. If they do the foundation, they can get up under it. So here, I'll just show you what that looks like. We might as well. It wanted us to. I will make this stone because I don't want to have to come back and do this. So yeah, if it drops down like that, it's worth your time to do this and materials. You know what I mean? Make these wood. Kind of see what that looks like. I'll leave myself on the top. Whoops. So those wooden sections you can add later. What I like to do is I start to improve. Oh, actually, let me rotate it. Whoop. As I improve the base, I try to cover up or honeycomb those sections. You don't have to go 2 stories up with it. I just like to cover up the metal whenever I can. And you know what? And to follow that, I was going to try to do this with cost in mind, but we'll do this with defense in mind. So this will be a bit more pricey for sure. Woo! I do have a raid guide. It'll help you figure these types of things out, leaving plenty of room for the meta. I will link that now in the upper right-hand corner. It'll help you get started and figure things out, figure out how you want to play. Because, yeah, you can be well-versed in this stuff, but, like, raiding is its own art form. I said it. It is. And watch. I'll leave the tops open on these so you can see what that looks like. Because we'll be adding a second story honeycomb, I think, if we have time. What are we looking at? Oh, my goodness. 30-plus minutes. My goodness. I'm using my admin. We must go faster. Do it like this. Remember, once things are done being, go past the cementing phase, you can only upgrade and then rotate it. You can't get rid of it. You have to raid your own base. So that's the extra honeycomb we're adding there. And if you look out here, let me just bring the camera down. If you're looking from down here and we put a lid on top, it just looks like stone. And it helps soak any kind of rocket damage if you were to tick off a larger Zerg. That makes sense. That's why we do that. Yeah, usually I like to do some form of honeycomb, if not all of it, before we go to the second story. But again, you're going to do these in different chunks as you see fit and as you need it, because a neighbor lives next door, you might have to make some adjustments. I mean, that's just the nature of this game. Okay. Now what I would do is let's upgrade these tiles as well. Oh my goodness, I didn't mean to do that. You won't be able to do stuff like that. That's an admin command, okay? You can't do that. I have to make that metal. You also wouldn't have stacks of 200,000 units. Okay, so if you're going to do the boathouse, you can do that a little bit later, but this is where it's going to sit. And I should have maybe gone over this earlier, but this is the back section where it's going to be. And it has to be deep enough for you to pull this off. So this is kind of extra, but this is the section for it. And then here's how you can tell. See how I can drop it down. If it's just above there, then you can put a boathouse down. If you can't, that's fine. The terrapin will be a ground terrapin, even though it might be in the water. You see how we've got the ledge right there? Oh my, there we go. And then we can have one here. I'll kind of just leave these, whoops, I'll leave these as wooden sections so you know what this is later. That's how you can tell. I probably should have done that in the front half of this. Let's be honest, we're going to probably have some adjustments for this later after the beta itself. But that's where the boat sections can go. And again, maybe you can only afford one. Maybe you can do it later. Maybe you're just pulling a boat up to the back. That's totally fine. If you have a crew actively using the boat, you probably don't need storage for it right away. And as long as you've got people defending it, you can keep having them coming in and out over and over again. And just keep the flow going. It's only when people are not in it and it's not under something, a structure, that's when you're going to run into problems as far as it decaying. But you can repair it. Okay. Real quick, this is going to be the turret port here, if you can afford it. Again, I usually do this later, but just so I don't forget. I like to stick a window here if you have the glass. If you don't, make this a door or something. And when you can afford it, you'll slap up some garage doors. I like to make this the bed section where you've got the beds. You can turn this into storage if you like. I like to stick a softy this side out. But let's be real, you put this in probably last. Do you see how I have the soft side out like that? That's terrible. Because, like, somebody just come up to your roof, a ladder up, and just bang it out. All right, let me show you what the second floor looks like. See how we have our honeycomb outside? I'm going to stick a wall here, and a wall here, and a wall here. I'm going to upgrade these so you can see where the soft sides sit. It's a bit easier when you can see the stone. And I'll pull away so I can take a drink again. You see how we've got where the hard sides and the soft sides sit for these walls? And we've created a walkway on top of the triangles. Take a gander. Let me go ahead and turn it the same way as we had before. So I know sometimes when people rotate stuff, it throws me off. Even though I'm very spatial, that can throw me off. Okay. So with this section here, what we should have done, again, sorry for my lack of order, this is where the tool cupboard sits right now, right? I'm going to detach and show you. It's right down here. So because of that, if somebody were to watch this tutorial, we need to make sure that we make it as beefy as possible. So what I like to do here is just make this a hyper, super stacked layer of goodness, right? If you plan on enclosing this and making this all metal, you can go ahead and make this metal now. And then, let's make that metal so you can see what that looks like. And we'll make that metal too. And we would rotate this, outward. Now I know the textures are going to be slightly different for the beta because these building improvements didn't come in until like mid 2020. That way if they break in here or something, they still got a hard wall to contend with here. That's the idea behind that. Okay. Let me just do this quick. I really don't want this to be terribly long, but I know it's going to be because it's a build video. And then you would make that metal too, and then we're going to make this back wall. So you see how the whole idea is to encapsulate that and make it, oops, let's rotate it. So you can see it's hard wall out for all of these, all the way around. And again, we would make this honeycomb go up just to hide the fact that that is our honey pot. Here, we'll just make this section. Again, you wouldn't have access to doing stuff like this you'd have to do it very carefully. Again, watch your cost as you do it. So that would be good enough. You can actually make all of this like that, and even leave your honeycomb down here, because you see how you're hiding the exterior metal sections? That's the idea. And then that metal only shows on your interior. Here, I'll stand up here again. Oh, float, Mr. Jade. And then our square sections that are left, that are to my right, below me, and then catty corner down to the lower right, those are going to turn into loot rooms. And also, they act as a buffer. So really, you can see how this is sandwiched, and how the second floor, you would have good loot here, but you wouldn't have things like raid materials. You wouldn't have your high-end stuff necessarily. You would have your mid-tier to kind of junky on the top, because it is, you know, as it goes outward, it's less protected. Let's make these real quick. You may not fill out all of these rooms here. I like to do the half wall, and then you can do this. And then again, if you can't afford the metal on the top, start with stone, but as you get the metal, be sure to make that a metal section, because people are going to come after you. You're already looking pretty big at this point, so a lot of people are going to want to be like, hey, what's up? You got some of them cheeses? You'd be like, nah, I'm good. I'm all good. Got some of that cheese. I'm going to slap these in here. These are not going to be aligned very well. Someone's going to be like, your loot rooms are trash. You're like, yeah? What grade are you in? We'll come raid you. Organize it real nice for me. And then if you do have this bad boy, I would strongly recommend this. And if you don't, you can put beds up and down here. Just make sure you leave yourself access to get to the tool cupboard. Oh my goodness, am I having... I get this sometimes. What is that? I think it's in this version. You see what I'm talking about? You should be able to fit 3 here. For whatever reason, it's being super goofy. I don't know what's going on with that, but anyways, you'll be able to fit 3. If you have a bed here, it's important that you've got the ability to reach down and reach the bottom boxes. That's why I try not to cram too much of these, because those really packed loot rooms are great, but they don't work in every situation. And again, this is probably a group setup, so you want to make sure you've got the ability to move around. Nothing sucks worse than having your homeboy stand right there in the way, and you're like, you're getting attacked, or you just got clapped, you need to go outside and shoot that guy. Yeah, it gets really annoying. Okay, I'm not going to place it. I'm just going to do this. And if you can't afford these, you know, or you've been swapping out your other doors, swap your double doors up there. It's all good. All right, we're going to do the same thing we did downstairs right here. Make a pretty good time, I think. It's just takes a minute. A little bit of space in between them. It's not going to hurt you. And we're going to make a wall frame here. Put a lid on top. And then put a roller boy if you can afford it. Bam. Now let's make this a bit more realistic, as if we were going to be attacked. This is going to be where the port comes through. And again, if you can't afford how this is going to operate, that's totally fine. Put some doubles in there. It's all good. This becomes another stacked loot room for 2 triangles. I'm a fan. Oh my goodness, I didn't mean to do that. The Terrapin. I thought the name was clever, I just hope nobody else used it. The Terrapin. I would have done these rooftops a lot sooner. Let's be real. Hopefully these boxes aren't getting terribly annoying for you. But you'll see very quickly when you have a large group, like storage space becomes a thing. If you're ever build master on one of the wipes and you've got like a 2, 3, 4 man, you're gonna be like, guys, there's too much loot. Like, what do I do with it? It does get overwhelming because you become responsible for having to, you know, make sure it's all secure and whatnot. Yeah, again, you'd be using the metal locks for sure. I'm just doing it because I don't have to type in codes for each one. Again, if you got a roller boy, by all means, you could slap that bad boy right here. And I like to put a roller boy there as well. I like to put a swing door, but first we're gonna do this. If you have the bed, this is like a nice little spot for your homies to spawn in. Just make sure you gift it to them or assign it to them. I forget the term, but otherwise you're gonna have a lot of your own beds that you can't spawn on during a raid. And you're gonna put that right there. We're gonna put up our window real quick. I'm gonna go outside and we're gonna pretend a turret's in there because I don't want to have to go dig it out. But that's where you put it. And again, if you have enough for gears, you put it there. But you don't have to necessarily. You could just leave these open and not put any roller boys in there and pick up the turret as you see fit. Your outside door. And we'll put the fridges down right here. Again, if you don't have the door down, give it a bit of breathing room. And then I like to stick swing doors here in these door sockets. The reason why I kind of create that there is garage doors are great, but they're slow, right? So a lot of times when people are accessing loot rooms, they'll leave that stuff open, and it can be bad sometimes. So you want to just make sure that you can get in and out, or close something quickly if something goes wrong. This kind of creates a single pass-through. It's a bit annoying, but it'll protect you. And then let's do our favorite little stacky stack. Remember, barbecues aren't just for barbecue. They can be for storage. I'm a fan of this configuration. It keeps it clean, too. If you need to... I already put one there. What am I doing? Alright, so we're getting close. We're getting close. Let's go ahead and make our jump up for the next floor and show you what that looks like. Hopefully this has been useful for you guys. You know what? That's going to be a roller boy, isn't it? Alright, as soon as you can, you want to make sure you can make this little area on the top. And again, it's hard to hit that socket, so I like to put a piece of twig there. It helps you kind of navigate that. Pop this, do that quickly. I like to stick a halvesies here, and then a triangle so we can stick a shotgun trap on the very top. And because swing doors are the quickest, I like to put it right there. Oops, gotta make the frames. We'll put a lock there, and then we'll stick one of these shotgun traps right on top. You can jam a couple in there. I like to angle it just a little bit, and then it gets its friend right there, if you can get it. Bam. Handmade shells, they're beautiful. This way, it's like facing away from the hill. It kind of gives you that ability to do, to get up and not get completely wasticated. And then, assuming that you got the money, start to metal up these tiles. Because remember, what's under here, right? Your loot. Well, we didn't stick boxes in all these, but you get what I'm saying. So you can see why those aren't going to be your high-end things, but they can be better. But even you can already tell in each compartment like this, the stuff on top you want to be lesser, and the stuff on the very bottom you want to be a little bit better, because look, you've essentially created a sandwich layer for people to raid through. Yeah, they can break that, but I mean, it slows them down. It's always about taking people's loot. So let me go ahead and make these metal here. Again, I keep it stone until I can afford it. Remember, stone is something you can gather and use immediately. Metal fragments and high quality are things you have to gather and then process. And it takes time. So it takes materials and time. That's a double hit. So like so, and then I like to put this because again, this is a little loot pocket right there as well. And then let's take a look at the exterior here. And as soon as you can afford it, I like to upgrade these to metal. But you can see, look, this is the low-cost solution. If I'm on the ground, look at this. You can't. This looks like you see some wood out there. I go, man, these guys are broke. You know, it looks like trash. So again, as you can afford it, we may not do all of these. Once you make these metal, be sure to cover these up with honeycomb as soon as you possibly can. You can even see how we just did it for the loot room itself. Like, if we go downstairs, you can see that this hallway isn't mission critical. If somebody were to slap this, right, it would just be faced with more metal and some more doors. So if you can't afford it, which most people can't, kind of take it in stages and upgrade it as you see fit. All right, let's go do the boat section. And again, you can add whatever you want to the top here. This is as far as we're going to take it is the top section. Just because, you know, you can do towers, and we want people to make the modifications to bases as they see fit. Because, you know, sometimes you're going to be taking on the heli all the time, so you'll need a bit of a tower. There you go. Just created a bit more stone honeycomb. All right, so this section here is going to be the boathouse section. As soon as you can afford it. And what I like to do is I just do one at a time. I like to do it cheap. And I think this is a cool part of this. Maybe you guys don't think it is, but I like the fact that the jump up is part of the boxes. And I'd save your scuba gear. I'm telling you, it is your super best friend. Are you kidding me? It's like, it's the ultimate. And since you won't be able to buy it in the fishing villages as of right now, in the current version that we have, getting it in the wilderness, out in the wild, as it were, is really important. So save it. And if not, then you can sell it because other smart players will want them as well. This is a bit pricey. If you can only do 2, put one on one side and one on the other, it's going to, you'll see, it will absolutely drop somebody. So I like to have these open inward, as we talked about earlier. And I like to have locks on these as well in case somebody gets you. And then look, you've got your jump up here, and you've got the roller buoy to protect, and your shotgun traps. This leads upstairs. And this should have enough protection. You see how somebody comes in here and they're hit with all kinds of craziness? Alright, and what I like to do is I like to make it wood to start. Again, at some point, you'll want to make it stone. But if you've got a roller buoy, I go out here right to this frame, and I just make that stone. Then I put twig, a top section, and then a half wall. That's very important. You won't really be able to navigate unless you have a half wall there, or get in consistently. As soon as we have electricity, you'll be up. Whoopsie! I didn't mean to hit my jump ski. Sorry. Well, you would have to do the climb through. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it like that. It's super confusing. So I make this wood. Because most people, if they're going to break in, you're going to empty this out long term. Like, you're only going to be out in the wilderness coming back here dropping things off quickly. So it's not going to be a huge deal. I just don't store anything in here long term, like I said. I don't like to place it like that because people can use this to climb on. So I'm actually going to do the scumbag thing and then put it on the inside. Okay, just like that. And so you can do quick drop-offs and get right back to it, especially if you got a group. Put the buckles out, or buckles inward, just like so. And then I put a wood top on it. And then as you see fit, if people are really messing around with your stuff, you can make it stone as you need to. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? Just drive that sucker right in there. And because your extra storage is back there, you can dismount here freely, and then skis past, and then do this. And then from the back of the boat, you would close this. I'm telling you, boats are OP, man. You'll see us be doing it all the time. And what's cool is you don't have the money for the expansion yet. Totally fine. You just keep that shut. No big deal. Don't keep anything too major in here. You could really keep your scuba kits up here if you really want to overnight. I would strongly suggest that. Okay, plenty of storage. So there you go. That's the Terrapin. It can be on sea. It can be on land. You can have the boat ports. You cannot have the boat ports. We'll show you some of the configurations over here. Again, if you found this useful and helpful, be sure to drop a like. It does help out a lot. Here's a full build with all the ports in the back. And if you like this kind of stuff and you think you'd watch it again, by all means, drop a subscribe. Turn on those notifications. Here, I'll show you what the Terrapin looks like. This is the Terrapin. I'm going to stand on the tool cupboard again. Terrapin with the ground configuration, no boat ports. You can build this anywhere. Wood areas represent where the honeycomb would go, but this is the footprint on the ground. And what's beautiful about this, again, is you see where my character's at? You can add more honeycomb by that top section and the section to my left, or left of the screen on the tool cupboard room, and add more beefier spots to the tool cupboard as you need it, and really utilize that space as you go. So yeah, the Terrapin is quite versatile. And hopefully this helps you guys out in the pre-order beta and the full release for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Can't wait to use this live in the pre-order beta. / full release. I mean, you'll see us be doing this live anyways, but there you go. Here's the other footprint. It helps me. Let me know down in the comments below if these kind of like flybacks help you a little bit. And we'll ride out the end of the video to this point. Woo! The Terrapin, even though it doesn't look like a turtle. It's a really messed up turtle with the jacked up leg. See you guys in the next video. Bye!